I've heard that before. I heard that they like it. I heard that they get hydration out of it.
But then
it could be a lot of things.
Yeah, then they throw up.
Well, why does my dog eat shit?
Okay, that's a problem. That's between
only
you and
the
your dog.
old one. He'll go through and check all the other ones, make sure it's okay, and then.
Yeah. Those dogs
I
are
have
special.
a question too when you're
yes.
done.
Go ahead. All right, we jumping in head first. Welcome back to Two Shots In Podcast. I'm Devin Burgess.
Ginger Janae.
Fred King.
And we have a hell of a man with us today.
Where?
Well, he was here earlier.
All right.
He's probably still in the building. Abe Andino, my brother.
Hey, how's it going?
My brother from another, man.
How about it?
He is a canine. What the hell are you, Abe? You're not a canine.
Some people say it, but no. I'm a canine handler for the sheriff's office.
I love the doggies.
How is that?
The whiskey?
No, the whiskey's good. How's the dog?
So, man, it's interesting.
You have two, don't you?
I have two, yes. It's an interesting portion of law enforcement.
Because that's like your specialty, right? The dog.
For now, yes.
Mm-hmm. Does it ever depress you that you're a backseat to a four-legged animal?
They do a better job than I do.
Yeah, those dogs are fucking badass. They're like a live wire, man.
Fur missile.
They are. They're great.
I would have to be that if I was.
I've only seen it once, and it was when
a dog
in action.
No,
I've seen a dog a couple
have
times.
one. I've had several dogs. Thanks.
Mine is I almost murdered mine the other day. It keeps trying to bite my
He's
daughter.
almost murdered his 3 or 4 times.
Where do you go to jail for that?
They will test you.
If you murder a dog?
Just don't
I
tell
don't know if it's
people
called
you murdered
murder.
it.
Right.
I mean,
No,
if you took
they
it out.
would know.
If you
I'd
took
have
it out
to
in the
hire it.
street and plucked its eyes out and stuff like that, then probably.
Don't torture
Yeah, he almost
it.
bit her, and I picked him up over my head for just a second, and then Chelsea went, "Oh!" and Blair went,
She's like,
and I said,
yeah.
"Oh, I can't smash this dog right now, because I do love my dog, but man, if he attacks my kid, I'm gonna have to."
Oh yeah.
I did that with my husky the other day. My daughter's 21 years old, and he
my daughter's a
reared
year
up
old.
and bit her. I mean, well, not bit her, but his
man.
tooth just caught her right there and broke the skin. And I grabbed him and I picked her up like that, and Kelsey was like, "No!"
Yeah.
So I put her back down.
But I mean, your dogs are trained to just.
Kill.
Are they
No, not kill.
I'm just kidding. Okay. He's like, no, not kill. Shut up.
No.
Why do they use German language? Is that something that is common? Because
So
I did a little
you'll
research
get-
before you came in, and they say it's German or English.
So you'll have Dutch, you'll have German.
Why is that?
Simply,
People
It's
around here
Commands.
don't know it.
Commands.
Nobody's going to accidentally say something in German or.
a lot of people will say that.
Oh.
You'll get those handlers or trainers that'll say, we teach them this that way. Nobody else knows their
No
commands or
shit.
whatever.
That's smart.
But simply
But they know
put,
your voice though.
That's where they come from.
What do you have? A
I have a
German
Belgian
Shepherd?
Malinois.
Oh,
This thing is legit, dude.
those are awesome.
Is
He's
that
a
the
good
one
dog.
that?
He's misunderstood, but he's a good dog.
Is that the one that came in when we had the people that tried to break in the shooters? Remember? And it
Yes, and yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
Man,
the one
that
I
was
want
no
to just
joke.
come here and sit at the door.
No, they don't sit at the door, man. When they're in action, they're in action.
Yeah, when they start working, they work, and it's a wonderful thing to see sometimes.
It's incredible.
It is.
It really is like a four-legged
Machine.
electrical bolt of lightning.
It is, and they'll go and for the longest time, people used the German Shepherds, and after a while, they're still good dogs, but you're hard pressed to find a good German Shepherd. Not saying that there
After the whole
aren't any
Hitler
out there.
thing, they probably Tried
but
to go another route.
Left the bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
The Malinois, though, they just they're just full of energy, and they will go, 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 and go.
Who pays for their training? You?
I know the sheriff's office.
Yeah,
And it's a lot, isn't it?
It is.
they go through some shit. Because I've read several books on
You read books?
Frank does
shit.
not read books.
I read a book
on
once.
different special forces, and that's what they use.
Yeah, I mean they're it's very odd that they can understand, comprehend, and then execute in such a precise way. Like I don't think you could get a human to do that.
Probably not.
And total control too.
I mean, that
From you.
it's
Have any of them ever been hurt?
yeah, we've actually had a few that have gotten hurt in the line of duty. But
They can take some shit too.
No, but I mean, once they're hurt, does it change anything about them, or are they right back in it?
no, they forget. So as soon as they are well enough, and even before they're well enough, they're ready to go again.
How old's your dog?
My dog right now is 10.
What?
Is that old?
70 in people years.
Yeah.
It all depends on the usage of the dog and how much, how hard you worked them.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say,
so
when
on
did
like
they
that.
retire?
So we'll keep our dogs here for our application. We'll keep our dogs until they just cannot perform tasks anymore, or they
God, they're
become
pretty, huh?
Yeah, they are. They are. Don't let that fool you though.
What's
Listen.
a dog like that cost without training it? Like if you just wanted to buy one and train it yourself, what you looking at?
Without training, a good green dog from a good background, a good litter, easy $5,000,
Ugh,
easy 3,000
man,
maybe.
they're cool.
Dude, that's the ones that they take on the helicopters and they jump out of airplanes with them. They do all kinds of stuff like that. There's some all the books I've read have been like that. That dog saved my life so many times. Every book I've read has been like their ears perk up. And
Yeah.
when they tune in
The
on
thing
something.
that gets me real sappy is when I see like if you were detached from your dog, like if you were deployed and they kept the dog, and then the dog retires and they give it to you, and you haven't seen the dog in like a year or 18 months, and then y'all meet again, and the dog is it's a crazy attachment, and
It is. They'll probably bite you for leaving that long and
Yeah.
then coming back.
but all of the they got those videos on YouTube of like U.S. Marine dog handler reunites with his dog after 18
And it's
months
insane.
or whatever.
It is.
The
And,
bond. And
They don't forget. I mean, they're wonderful animals. They're an asset all the way around. It's phenomenal to watch them work.
If you knew you were going to go into a home with somebody with a firearm that was going to actively try to hurt you, would you rather, and you can only choose a handgun or no gun, but you got to keep your dog, which one would you pick?
If I'm going into a house that somebody's armed and they're going to do something dangerous, I'm not going to take my dog with me.
I was
No.
hoping you would say that.
I can't.
Well, I mean, I would think it'd be 2-on-1. That dog would probably get him, and then you would be able to jump on him.
Yeah, but a huge misconception with this is that a dog's going to bite and control.
Right.
And if he doesn't discourage the guy from shooting at the police or at any civilians or anything like that, or the dog himself, he's still going to do it no matter what. So now I lose an asset. So we try to stay away from sending them in for failure. Actually,
So, do they have specialties, the dogs, or they train them for everything?
they have specialties. I mean, you have dogs that will do narcotics. You'll have dogs that do apprehension, search and rescue, bomb dogs. They'll have dogs that find bed bugs. They use dogs that find electronics in the jails. So
How do they find electronics? That gives a scent on
yeah, it
electronics?
does. Everything has a scent.
Yeah.
No shit.
There's some like these especially in one of those books. They were saying how they said you could have a football stadium full of tennis balls. This is the analogy they made, and they said they could all be yellow, and you could have one white tennis ball, and that dog could smell that white tennis ball.
Haven't heard that one yet, but
That was one of the analogies in the book.
So,
So-
what are yours specialize in?
trying to get somebody to pet my dog.
I was thinking about you. I went for 2 days to a wedding celebrate. It was strange because people are already married because of COVID, but they still do like
Well, they do celebrations so
after
everybody
they
can enjoy
get
it.
married. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
in Texas. And man, you should see these dudes that got it all figured out. They walk into these bars with fucking puppies and just bitches go all over them. and one will come in, and it's almost like they know where the other dog people are, because like one will come in, he'll get some phone numbers, he'll leave, and as soon as he leaves, somebody else will come in with a puppy. We were thinking about renting puppies, but I mean, I didn't want to just
You can
throw
do
them
that.
away after you're done with it. So, but Texas is very, very dog. They're very pro dog in bars and restaurants
Dog
and stuff.
friendly.
And man, those guys work that system, man, with those dogs. They're nothing like your dogs. He's just trying to pull ass with a little puppy or something. But there's puppies everywhere, and
Sure.
it's almost like the guys know there's a guy. What's up?
I was gonna say Tito's vodka specifically caters to dogs. Like when I ran the bar,
I've heard that.
we had.
What does that mean?
Well, when I ran the bar, Tito, you know how they come in and they bring swag. Well, Tito's.
Drop you a box of puppies off?
No, they come in. They gave
Sounds
us.
like
They
a
gave us
terrible-
dog bowls that said Tito's on the side for water for the dogs. They gave us signs that said dog friendly environment. That said Tito's
to
vodka.
promote bringing dogs in your bar.
Right.
Yeah, I would think that would be a liability, though. Bringing your dog. I mean, you could never bring your dog in a bar, right?
No,
No.
I wouldn't.
Now, would your dog attack me if I tried to get in your car without you telling him to attack me? I know one of them would attack anybody for anything. But
That's the one I want to hear.
no. I'd be in the back bleeding out in fucking 5 minutes. I'd say,
So-
hey,
Another-
He'd have to come in wearing one of them dog suits.
Another huge, I guess, misconception on the word attack. So a lot of people say, oh, the police have attack dogs. We don't have attack dogs. We have apprehension dogs. So what they do and what they're trained for is they are trained to bite.
Once I lose a couple fingers, though, I mean, I'd have to disagree with you.
Well, stop pulling away.
Stop resisting.
Right. So they're trained to bite and hold and control that subject. So that's what we want. Not where we have like somebody that brings their dog to the bar,
Right.
and that dog is a little wild and he's just biting everywhere.
So do you have to draw the line between this is my partner and this is my pet?
Yes. So all canine
couldn't do
handlers,
that.
and I say all canine handlers. There are some canine handlers that may not have the setup at home. They may live in an apartment.
Your dogs live with you?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes. But they stay outside. They don't come inside. I don't treat them like pets. I don't bring them around my family.
Right.
Or family members.
Kind of like a kid.
They're working dogs.
Kind of like a kid, right?
Right. Yeah, Blair sleeps in the
the guest
we
house.
made her a beautiful
In the crate
dog
over
Chicken
there.
coop
outside. That's right.
outside. Got a nice little ramp. She can
So
crawl
she's
up in
cool-
it.
She's cool with your wife?
My wife can actually go back there. She'll feed them. She'll let them out, clean up the kennels and so on like that. Only when I'm not there or if I can't get to it, like if I'm
Right.
working something else.
She ever gotten a little nip?
No, he's been really, really good.
Well, you
with
probably
that.
sees her. He's 10 years old. He's probably seen her a lot.
He knows
He
that
has.
girl is coming to feed my ass.
And that's pretty much a really good reason why he doesn't really bite me is because I feed him. So if he bites me, I'm not going to feed him for a little while.
Has he ever bit you?
Just in training, but nothing terrible. But he let go right away as soon as I
He
start
realized.
yelling. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gee, he let go right away.
he did.
Devin would not be able to manage any of that. He'd have a meltdown immediately.
So what's the most common call you get when you got to go out with your canine
Believe it or
partner?
not, what we do is they get a bunch of narcotics calls. We'll go out just.
He can do all narcotics? Because I've heard a bunch of stuff. I've heard that they can do a bunch of narcotics, and then I've heard that you can only train them for a specific narcotic.
So we're actually training several odors, and I'll just leave it at that. Without
God, I'm
going
glad
into
that
which
dog
one.
didn't come in here. That bag I carry around isn't for...
So, but what you have to understand is that they're trained on the odors, and they're only trained on odor. So even if somebody has something in their car, or they had something in their car,
It'll still hit
and that
on it.
odor is still there, they can pick up on it.
Could you imagine how he'd act with our money in the register? All those people
Oh,
that
yeah,
come in
people that
here.
have
Oh
weed
my
smell.
god!
Believe it or not, there are some handlers out there that will, like, money proof them, if you will. Because most of the
God, so
money,
they can tell a difference between money that
and-
smells like weed and weed.
if you take a look at statistics, most of U.S. currency has some kind of narcotic trace
Right.
on it.
Really?
So
Oh yeah.
You never saw that statistic before?
No.
I've heard
I've
that a
heard
lot.
it's got shit on it and piss on it and stuff.
I've heard a lot about
It
like
might.
every dollar or every piece of money in the United States has cocaine on it. I've heard that everywhere I've worked. Yeah.
Is there that much coke going around? I thought coke died in the 80s and 90s.
I don't think so. I think they just
think
lace
a lot
it
of
with
people
crazy
did
shit
from it.
now.
Yeah, right.
So, but
How did drugs get in the country if most of them are
He
coming
jumps
in?
all over the place, by the way.
I know.
Just-
Yeah, this is ADD alley right
figure
here.
out-
You're opening
wait,
up
where
a-
are we going?
You're opening up a fucking wait 15 more minutes.
No,
Wait till all this hits.
We'll have
We'll
you
start
talk. We'll have
talk
you
about
talk,
aliens
That's
and everything
right.
else.
Titties, boob jobs.
let's talk about what I do with the dog most part of the night.
All right, go ahead. I had so many questions.
We
Gosh,
go
pretty
around
dogs, huh?
playing fetch, and I go around cleaning up after them. That's pretty much it.
Okay,
It's
moving on.
fun.
And
do
we go from
you
there.
do you play fetch with things that are have an odor on them or anything to keep
No,
them?
just his Kong, a tug, something like that. I'll throw it out in the field, and even though it's play, it's still training them, because I'll take the ball or his Kong and throw it out in high grass and let it sit out there for about 2-3 minutes.
And he's just
5
sitting
minutes.
by next
He's
to
sitting
you.
by me, just waiting to go. And then once I tell him, go ahead and go look for his toy, he'll go out there and he'll start searching the field. So, of course, you've got all kinds of smells out there, and he'll just keep going searching the field till he gets to his toy and
Not
comes
it.
back running around with it.
Not it. Not it.
So what? It would seem like, because they're so good at doing what they do, why wouldn't you just put a couple of those at all the roads and shit that lead into the U.S. to get all the drugs that are hidden in cars from the cartels and stuff?
Oh,
Because
man,
it says like 100 million pounds come in of weed and coke.
Yeah, but I don't
and
think
shit.
that's how it's coming in, really.
Do you
But
not?
that-
No,
yeah, it doesn't
I think it's
necessarily
getting
come in
flown
over the
in.
border.
I think it's getting flown in.
They had that submarine they caught the other day. I mean, not too long ago.
Submarine.
They've got all kinds of ways of getting it in.
See, I
And
thought it mainly came in through cars that they filled the tires with stuff.
they,
Yeah, I'm
they
sure they
have
do,
those. They
yeah.
have those down at the border and all that. But think
'Cause
about
it seems
the
like
stuff,
nothing would get through.
Think about the stuff that is caught, and then times that like times 10 or 20 is what's passing.
Oh yeah,
through.
or 1,000. You know,
So,
they'll
yeah,
send a car
absolutely.
with like 200 pounds of weed in it to get caught, so the other car behind it, with 800 pounds of
How do you
weed
know?
in it. Well, I watch.
He's got friends.
Yeah,
I
right.
saw Sicario.
How do you think? How do you think I bought my house? It would just seem like, if you had 5 dogs, there would be always one, ready to sniff out the
Like
next
that
car.
movie, The Mule.
They do, but you also
Oh,
you got to
yeah.
take into account the heat. The heat down there. I mean, all the environment around. The dog. You can only work the dog for so long. Dogs get tired. They're always wearing that fur coat. So I mean,
Yeah, it sucks, huh?
My husky. Yeah, she suffers sometimes.
Why don't they?
like the husky. Yeah, definitely. It's so hot down here
Why don't you shave it?
because it actually protects them. So like if we go into a wooded area, it protects them from the briars.
Oh, you're
and-
getting scraped up and
yeah.
stuff, yeah. Oh, man, they're pretty though, huh?
Yeah, they are.
So how long do you keep a dog in service? And why do you have 2? I know it's 2 totally different questions, but
Which one would you like me to answer?
Both.
And which one do you like the most? And what do you feed them?
Listen, in case
'Cause
you're
you do have
listening, I'm not
two,
gonna say
right?
which one I like the most.
you have 2.
And what do you
don't
call them when you're pissed at them?
Yeah, you have 2 dogs. Though,
I do.
right?
I do. I have a dog that is owned by the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, and he is my narcotics and apprehension dog, so my patrol dog. So when I work the street, that's who I bring with me. And then I also work a TSA dog, a bomb dog at the airport.
So they're trained for two different things.
Trained for two different things, yes. Two different roles.
Have you ever found a bomb at the airport?
No.
Can't say that.
Yeah.
Bomb at the airport.
Bomb and airport can't be in the same sentence.
It's funny. It's funny you said that. When we were going to Texas, my friend Nick said something like, "Oh man, that's the fucking bomb," and he looked up at her. And they kind of just stared at each other for like 2 or 3
Like,
seconds.
shut the.
And then he went, and he grabbed his bag and left.
So when you're delayed and missing like 5 flights.
Yeah.
So do
Don't
you do
ask
that more
why.
Should have
just?
never said anything.
Do you do that more just to for show? I mean, I guess.
No, it has
people
its- it
sneaking
has its
bombs on the
purpose.
planes.
That we used to have an issue with it. I mean, take a look
Really?
at the underwear bomber, the shoe bomber.
Yeah, but wasn't it like in the late 80s?
It was, and then soon they started to get these
Yeah.
specialty dogs in there. So
You see James a lot?
I'll see him every now and again.
The
Yeah.
shoe guy was in the 90s.
Was he? I thought all
Yeah.
that shit was in the 80s, and then after
We tried to light
9/11.
his shoestring.
A shoe or
Yeah.
something like that.
People are so nuts, huh?
Yeah, they're weird. Everybody's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
Especially
really
us.
weird.
You think they're 2 different ages too, right? Your dogs.
Yes.
So one's
So
young and
one's
one's old.
10, and then the other one is.
That's right.
Oh,
It's
my
okay,
gosh.
Deb. It's okay.
I got a bunch of
just
questions.
She just turned 6. No, I'm lying. 8. She turned 8.
So they're close, I guess, in age.
They're close in age.
Is that common that after 10 or 12 that you still work them, or are you gonna have to get new dogs?
No, as long as they can perform, they'll work as long as.
Isn't that kind of old? 10?
It depends. I mean, I've known some dogs that retired at 7.
Right.
We actually have a dog that is finishing out his, I guess, career, and he's 12. He's a hard dog. And he could still do the job. He wants to do the job. It's just, he's starting to slow down a little bit, and for, I guess, the betterment of the parish, we're just going to go ahead and retire the dog.
So what happens when you notice that happening? Do you already have a backup in training?
So where we get our dogs from, we always constant contact with them, always talking to them, calling them on the phone. So, hey, look, we're thinking about we might need a dog sooner or later. So they start looking to see what, types of dogs they have.
Do you get to pick your puppy?
No.
And then it gets trained? Oh, okay.
No.
But do you
Usually-
get to find, okay, let me see if I bond with this dog, or it's just automatic?
Yeah, so they'll have a dog picked out for us, and then you'll go to actually we get them from Alabama Canine, and we go see Alabama Canine up there, and they'll put us together with the dog to see if we work well with the dog.
Good.
If the dog's not trying to bite us,
Yeah.
and if we can correct the dog and so on like that to make sure that the dog's going to take our commands,
Good.
and then we'll come back with the dog and finish training here.
Nice.
And they all live with you always?
Not all the dogs, but my 2 dogs.
No,
do.
but I mean the ones that you handle,
Yes.
the
So with
handlers
you.
have to live with the dogs pretty
Yes.
much to get
So
that
yeah,
bond.
they're outside. They got a nice little patio set up. They're pretty much very well taken care
Well,
of.
yeah, they're worth a ton of money.
Well,
So yeah,
Cairo from the Osama bin Laden raid, SEAL Team 6 dog was a Belgian Malinois.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, those dogs are so cool.
they are.
If
And,
they weren't
and,
so expensive, man, I'd love to have one.
and as a handler, I always tell everybody this that says, man, I really want a Belgian Malinois. I really want one. You may want to think about it because these dogs have got to have something to do
All the time.
every
They have to stay active, or they're
Part
not
of the
okay.
day.
Well, that's the problem with my husky too.
you've
will
got
rip-
to give them something to do.
Rip holes in the sheetrock with her teeth because she wants to get out and do shit. She doesn't want to just sit.
And I've known handlers who've handled dogs that moved on to another career and got themselves a Malinois and just could not have it at the house because it would bite everybody. And that was just a pet. I mean, that was,
Right.
it wasn't a department dog. It wasn't any police training or anything like that. It was, or any patrol training in it. And it was just going nuts.
It's like kids. I don't think kids should be. in
They will bite you
school.
too, so be careful.
Well, I mean, really though, if you stick a kid, like I hated lower school mainly, because middle school and shit, you start to play sports and stuff. But you being in a classroom for 8 hours, it's similar to like a dog. You got to
Sure.
get out and run and do shit.
Yeah,
Sitting
absolutely.
in
Yeah,
the
they don't have
classroom drives
recess
you
anymore.
freaking crazy. And you start biting your friends, and you got to go to another school.
Have a track in my backyard from where they run. They dig they dig a trail.
Yeah,
from
if you like
your
your yard
dogs, yeah.
manicured and all that, yeah, they're gonna tear up your yard if you don't do something with them.
Would you buy one now? Do you have to buy them when they are retired, or do they just give them to you?
No, once they're retired and we're still within a division or the canine unit, they'll retire the dog with us.
So they just give it to you.
Mhm.
Man, that's cool. So you're
They
gonna
are
have
pretty
two
dogs.
badass dogs.
They are pretty dogs.
If you the world ends, how beneficial is those dogs to you? Probably pretty good, huh? Because I mean, they still know how to like attack people and stuff. Or what did you say it was called?
Good eating.
Frank,
They
no,
know
no,
how- They know
Frank.
how to
Thanks, Frank.
what did you say? Subdue? They know how
No.
to subdue people very
Control.
well. Control people very well.
Apprehend, control.
Man, they're so
Not attack.
cool.
They are cool.
Every time I've seen you with them, they really are like a harnessed piece of electrical wire that's hooked up to just a live battery that's just
Oh,
if you
absolutely.
touch
Go,
it,
go,
it
go, go.
fucking explodes almost.
Just go on YouTube and look at some of the videos of the stuff that they do. They're very agile and they love to work. And to talk on what Frank was talking about, the tennis balls, the yellows and the whites. Like, I haven't heard that analogy, but they have had where they have 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools, and they'll take a teaspoon of salt and put it in one of the Olympic-sized swimming pools, and they will go and train the dogs or have the dogs go sniff the swimming pools, of course without water, and they'll alert on which one the salt's in. So when you think about it, I mean, you're thinking about a teaspoon of salt in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That area is so vast, and then you're asking a dog to go out there, so their smelling or their olfactory senses are just phenomenal.
Would you like to have that kind of sense or no?
I don't know.
I don't think I would
Not
either.
the way some people smell. No.
Yeah.
Oh God, I know that's right.
Like if you farted, you could probably smell that
Dude,
for 2
That's
weeks.
not what I was thinking. I was thinking
Smell like a
bad
mile
BO.
away.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
BO, farts,
God.
burnt.
Did you fart like
Devin's
4
gone.
hours
There
ago?
were some people down there today that was
Man.
smelling bad. God.
That would be cool though to be able to smell.
In the middle of a park, that guy's got weed. That guy's got weed.
Yeah, right. Did they? You take them in public ever when you're not working?
We'll do some socialization, but
Do they hit on stuff in public that you can't really because you're not working
say
at the
nothing.
time?
like if I'm off duty,
Yeah.
no, I don't take them anywhere public. One, that's just to minimize anything happening that we don't need.
So how do you
accident.
socialize them?
Liability.
So most of the times, like, my patrol dog will always be in muzzle if I'm around people, and then most of the time it'll be other policemen, that come around.
God.
Man,
So that's it.
cool.
So just around other policemen that realize, hey,
But
Yeah,
sometimes,
we just don't-
sometimes when they're on that in that zone, man, anybody that goes near them, they're gonna get.
Yeah. So that's why we always keep them muzzled. That way, the worst thing they're going to do is maybe hit somebody with the muzzle. We can recover from that pretty fast.
right.
But yeah, we don't want any accidents happening.
They do some really cool shit. You should look it up.
No, what?
The dogs.
Yeah.
Like they dive through the windows of cars into people and shit.
In fact, I mean, we can probably get some waivers signed and
No, I don't want to get in that goddamn.
I
car.
do. I do. God, I would love to have a dog like that.
You just turn around and he's like, like right there. And he's like,
No, I don't want to get anywhere. I've seen those dogs.
I don't
man.
know, dude. I think that would be a really good video for the podcast. To put up there. I'm just saying.
I might do
Look,
it if I get
standing on
drunk
top of the
enough.
table just looking at Devin.
Now, can they do that? Like, if you tell it to go, well, no, that's too much. If you tell it to, like, would get that close to somebody
Without biting?
hearing you say,
get him.
kill the motherfucker!
I'm not going to tell him that.
So there is a point, because it still has to register in their mind,
Right.
that if you tell them to stop, they're going to stop. Now, we usually try to have some distance between that command
Before it happens.
because if they're too close, it's not going to register fast enough, and then
It's already done.
yeah,
Yeah,
gonna
because
bite.
The balls are already in
I've
his
seen
mouth.
some too where they're like pulling the dog and yelling at him, you know, and it takes a minute for the dog to finally let go because not only is he's knee deep in some shit grabbing this guy, but he's
I was like, oh yeah,
he's
my
like,
daddy's telling me to stop.
not really hearing because the guy's screaming and this all kind of stuff's going on.
I'd rather you just shoot me, Abe, than send that thing on me. God, look at that.
look, their bites are very powerful. You know, the teeth hurt as well, but that pressure that they have is crazy.
Oh yeah, snap your freaking arm.
Think if you could train an alligator to be your partner.
They could only move really fast in a straight line though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, no alligators then. Or 50 alligators.
A bear. You see that guy's head from the black bear that got mauled in Alaska?
I've seen a few
No.
pictures, though.
It
Those
looks
bears
it looks
just-
like a freaking baseball. He's got like
Yeah.
stitches.
Yeah, they just-
really?
He
They're just
survived
crushed.
it. He survived
They're
it.
just
I
crushing.
don't know if I'd want to survive that.
It looked like a big softball with the stitches, you know?
Oh, man. You saw the John Wick, I don't know if it was 2 or 3, with the 2, I don't know if they had your breed of dog, but they were trained with Terran Tactical with the same guys that trained Keanu Reeves. And did you see that movie, John Wick?
I have. I just don't remember
The
the
last
I'll watch
one.
those
They had,
every month.
I don't know who was
Three
in it.
of
It was
them.
Halle Berry or somebody like that was in it. Some,
Yeah, she
some
is.
good-looking chick was
She
in it.
is.
She had 2 dogs, and
Yep.
it was so cool. I mean, I know they probably shot.
Looks
each
like
scene.
them.
Look, I mean, that's just wild.
Dude.
Them climbing the fences
Walls
or
and
the
stuff.
walls.
Yeah, they have Google accounts usually. They can do. They can log into Facebook. They're awesome.
Upload their new TikTok.
We're watching a dog catch a
A
little ring that's probably 15 or 20 feet in the air.
ring. The most insane dog in the world, Belgian Malinois.
And yeah, and they go. So I mean, I guess all dogs are trained. Oh, you missed it. You're fired. I guess all dogs are like, you know, a scale of 1 to 100. What do you think yours? Because I've seen videos where like they're giving them command, then stop, command, stop, command, stop, run, 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 stop, and they'll
They'll stop.
You know.
You saw the ones where like when a guy walks and he's like weaving in between his feet and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome how they do all that.
How often do you have
That's
to?
nice for show.
I know.
Right.
Doesn't help you on the street.
The only thing that's going to do is trip me.
Look at that shit.
So when you decide you want
This
to
dog
be
just
part of the
jumped over
canine,
like a 20-foot.
when do
Oh,
you get to do
shit.
that? They make you do like traffic stuff first, and then I mean, do you get to start with the canines as soon as you join? Or?
No, you still have to spend some
No.
time.
Get
You have
the
to spend some
fuck outta
time, you know, of course, doing patrol work and so on like that. But when a position comes available, you can apply for it.
Okay.
However, there's not really much movement in the
Oh
canine
yeah,
unit.
when y'all there, you
so
love it, huh?
It's going to be a while before
Yeah.
anybody else gets in.
That's cool.
Holy shit! You don't have to worry about catching the dog though. Oh, it's up the. It went up. That we're watching. What we're watching is YouTube videos of dogs like jumping. What's that? 20 feet? Yo, he caught it. Because I would think
It's
the
a
dog would like
big-ass
break
wall.
its legs and stuff. You know, like it seems like when they get in the zone, they're just balls out. You know,
They're all over the place. But let me tell you, I mean, with work like this, you definitely want to, you know, have a,
That's cool.
if you can catch them because they can get hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you hurt
Yeah,
your dog, you know,
absolutely.
it's out of commission. It's no good to you at that point.
Do you train him to use you as a booster or anything like that?
No, my dog can't jump a 4-foot fence. I have to help him over it. He's not really good with jumping. But we have some dogs that can literally, where they're standing, just bounce up and catch on that 6-foot fence.
Wow.
And looking over the fence at you. And you're like, whoa, hey, buddy.
My husky hadn't figured out how to get up on a 6-foot fence. Otherwise, I'd have a lot more dead squirrels in my backyard than I really do. One day she came trotting in and she had this thing. I thought it was a toy, you know, because we have all these stuffed animals.
Yeah, it wasn't a toy.
And
Huh?
it was a real squirrel. It was
Squirrel,
dead. She had
yeah.
killed it that fast. She ran out, grabbed it, whacked it a couple of times, and then was trying to bring it inside the house. I said, drop it!
Will your dog attack animals and stuff like that when it's on the back? Like, what, bring you a dead squirrel or a dead bird, or is it
No,
not going to do nothing without
we
you?
kind of get that out of them, because if we are doing a track or going yard to
Don't want
yard or patrol route.
distractions.
I don't want him chasing a cat or another dog. They might bark at it or look at it, but tell
I'll
him to
click
leave
this
it.
one.
He's over it real quick.
Paul, click that one.
Click the one that says dog attacks 15 people and kills all of
there you
them.
go.
No.
Watch
Oh,
out.
stop.
Boom. You saw that?
That's awesome.
And it is a mental thing too. Like if I was armed, and I saw two of these dogs, oh god,
That's so cool.
See,
these
Devin,
dogs aren't
that
even
could be
running.
you.
These dogs just fly.
They fly.
How do you teach it to fly?
That could be you, Devin.
Yeah, that
Devin would
be me.
picture that being him.
Oh,
They got a
Jesus
suit on,
Christ.
dude. You could do that.
Yeah, until they go a little high and tear my fucking
Nose.
tear my tongue out of my throat,
I tell you what,
bleeding
man,
out,
A
looking
little
at
bitty
Abe,
boy.
wondering.
Oh, look at.
Oh, he's
aw.
cool. Yeah, man, it's so.
He's
I
ready.
see what you're saying though. Like they get so committed that they go right at it, and they're not thinking about, well, wait, I'm gonna have to drop after I'm done.
Right.
I know they're just looking at the prize.
Right, exactly.
So they can.
Devin's throat.
It's definitely the prize.
Yeah, no. I'd be sitting there bleeding out, yelling at Abe. Making $12, and Abe got me into this.
Did you saw him clear that window?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I
Dude, we
love
could go do
that.
that at the lake.
I love that. Yeah, right there. You could just fly out and Abe could send it
We could
out.
film it for the podcast.
I don't go in the lake anymore. I got
Seriously.
turned off about the lake. I went into a swimming pool when I was like 12, and I had an earache for 3 years, so I don't go in the
In
water
fact,
anymore.
I think all your subscribers should actually take a poll and let's see how many people would say yes, they would love to
Would
see
you
Devin
give me the
in
suit,
a bite
though?
suit.
You give me a fucking
Give me a
busted ass suit. You
Like
just
a
you give me one of those
2-foot thick-
plate carriers.
Look, trust me, Devin, this is what we use.
I'd be a
Gonna give you a
paraplegic.
tuxedo.
Yeah.
So here, put that on.
Oh.
That's a approved safety suit.
Good luck, buddy.
What's the worst thing, or the depends on who you are, the best thing you've seen the dog do in a real world scenario? Have you seen a dog just like? Have you ever had one of your dogs do something where you're like, man, that's
So proud.
incredible that he just killed all of these drug dealers.
Actually, believe it or not,
Apprehended.
And he brought me their gold crosses.
Full of diamonds.
You're right.
Like the dog sneaking out at night, vigilante, and then coming back.
little mask on.
Hey,
That's cool.
tell
Look
me
at
about
that.
this. This dog's walking across a fucking power line. This dog's doing my taxes. This dog's doing taxes.
I'm gonna tell you now, my dog would fall for sure, and I'd probably be right behind him as well. So,
I definitely would have fallen first.
Devin, to answer your question, man, one of the best things that I've seen a dog do is find a child that was missing in some very heavy brush, and
That just gave me chills.
it just when the dog's working and you see a change, hey, look, we want to take a look in this area right over here, and sure enough, the child was there safe. Just they got stuck in some brush and couldn't get out. And
What do
so-
they give him, like the kid's shirt or something?
No. So a lot of dogs work differently. You'll have some people that say, well, Frank's missing or Frank did this robbery or something like this. Let's give him Frank's shirt that
They finally figured it
Disregarded.
out. Idiot, you must have you left some evidence.
that's what it was.
Slacker.
Oh, that was an
Damn it.
example. Oh, never mind. No, he didn't rob that. He didn't do that.
Never mind.
Hiding
So,
under the house.
but what it is our dogs are trained on human odor. So they'll know my odor. And when we're working, if he gives me that change of behavior or something, or he does something silly, like looks to the right and breaks off that way, I know that he's into something. He's into human odor. So I want to go follow this. So I can't say if it's like if we're searching for a good guy or a bad guy. I don't know what the dog doesn't know the difference between a good guy or a bad guy. He knows that, hey, I smell
Different
human
Right.
over here, so let's
He's
go
like,
see.
Yeah, but isn't that a
fuck,
problem?
that's Abe.
The bad guy might have something that you can hit him with or something, or shoot him with.
There's always dangers in everything.
Oh.
Oh,
So the dog might not attack the bad guy, or what do we keep saying? Subdue the bad guy?
Apprehend.
the bad
apprehend.
guy? Well, what if the dog goes up to the
No,
bad
no.
guy and just sits by him?
No. Our dogs, and most of the dogs are, once you put them to work
They're
and you
apprehension
give
dogs.
them the command, they're going to apprehend
Oh,
that
that poor
person.
kid.
No.
It doesn't have a suit,
I'm
Devin.
joking. Was it your dog that found the kid?
No, it wasn't my dog. It wasn't my dog.
So they're kind of separated by their talents.
We can actually use our dogs for that. However, we'll take precautions with that. We'll put the muzzle on. So they have a nice big basket weave muzzle, and everybody's like, well, a dog can't work like that. Yeah, a dog can work like that.
So wait, so if you pop the leash and that dog takes off looking for like a kid missing,
We're not going to pop the leash.
oh,
We're
you're
with
going to
them.
hear that.
That's what we don't want to hear. So no, we in cases like that, in cases that we're going backyard to backyard to backyard, we always stay leash on the dog.
Gotcha.
Always. That gives us the extra control. Not only our verbal, commands, but we also have physical control if we need to reel.
Do y'all have dogs that can't work with other dogs? Do y'all like, no, oh, this
That's a
dog can't
good
work with this
question.
one.
They
That one
attack
can't
each
work
other?
with that one. These can work together, but those can't.
So usually we don't take out more than one dog
Okay.
at a time. And if we have personalities that clash, we don't want to be worried about that
Show
more than
off.
anything else. Right. What do you mean you're doing a better job?
I wanted to do that.
Do you know that?
Well, they'll attack other cops too, right? Like if a cop was coming around the corner, they're not looking at the badge.
They'll
They're
bite
just-
another
It's
policeman.
a person, yeah. They're just so you're going through the backyards. If it's trying to find somebody, all fucking everybody else is like,
Hey.
let the dog go.
That's why we tell everybody, once our dogs come out to work, if I'm working a 8-foot lead, I want you to stay 12 feet behind me.
Right.
Or even 15, because
Yeah.
even at the end of the 8 foot,
To
still
yank
got my
you.
arm length.
I'm in my
Yeah.
cruiser.
You go ahead.
So
I'm
believe
like
it or not,
15 yards back there.
if you've ever, you get on YouTube and watch all these videos, and you'll see like policemen, ask for the dog and they come out. When you see other canine handlers get in their cars when one is taken out, you may want to do the same thing
Just
too.
follow.
Well, you can see like the helicopter overhead, and they let the dog out, and you see everybody else just back off.
Let him go.
But believe it or not, dogs and dog training is changing, and we're getting more social dogs. And what I mean by that, not that we're just going to let them roam around freely or anything like that, but I would be able to bring one of those social dogs in here.
But doesn't that jeopardize you at work, though, to have a social dog? Or that's just
No,
for...
because once
they
I put them
act
to
on
work,
command,
they're
yeah.
working.
Okay.
What if, like when you, if you're struggling with somebody, okay, outside of the unit, and you hit that remote, and that pops that door open, and the dog knows to just get that guy.
Yeah, well, one, you're going to be yelling, so you're going to be giving commands, so it's already, keying that dog up. Hey, I got to do something. But you've got to train for that. You just don't think, I've got all this training in this dog, and you've never trained for that situation. And when you do that training, you may want to do it first in muzzle. Because when we decided, hey, let's try this, and I popped that door, that dog come out and hit me.
I love the fact you
And
can
I'm
just
like,
pop
hey,
that door.
What are
That
you
shit.
doing? And he's like, So we put him back in the car, and we started again.
Well, he just sees an arm. He doesn't know who it's attached to.
Fair enough.
Has that happened?
But he should smell it.
So now it was, hey, we create a little bit of distance.
I'm looking at your arms. Your arms look pretty good. You got all your
Fortunately,
fingers, you can see.
Fortunately for me, I have not been bit by my dog that bad. So it's more like little nips or anything like that.
Fuck a little.
Do we have handlers?
What is a little nip there,
I got
Abe?
shot a little bit.
Do we have handlers in the canine community that have been bit by their dogs? Yes. Have they had to have
Apprehended.
surgery? Yes.
Surgery?
Oh, my
Shit.
goodness.
I'm just one of those fortunate ones that it hasn't happened to yet.
But I mean, you're with your dog a lot.
Looks like he snapped your scapula.
So you're going to get bit sooner or later, or a handler's going to get bit sooner or later. And now that I've opened my mouth, it'll probably happen this week.
Oh, knock
Thanks,
on some
Devin.
wood, Abe. Knock on the wood, Abe.
That's why this table was made out of wood.
In fact, Devin, if that happens,
Oh,
you're
shit.
definitely going to get in that
You're going
suit.
to the lake. You're going to the lake.
What's that suit made out of?
You think
Kevlar?
Chelsea takes pictures of Blair? Wait till you get in that suit.
He's just gonna put me in a fucking pillowcase. And
That's what he's gonna have.
Yeah.
A bunch of pillows and belts.
Right. Put this nice, comfortable suit on. It's a
Waiver or not,
This
buddy.
is a Walmart bag, bitch. I'm not
This is a
getting
Santa
this.
suit. What do you want me?
Waiver or not.
Oh, man, those guys that do that are got some
What?
set on them.
The one they showed of him jumping into the boat, like that guy wore that suit plenty of times, but when he sees that dog,
Oh yeah.
he's got the suit on.
He's still
going,
he's still like,
like
oh,
slow
shit.
motion.
So you're seeing this. You're seeing it. They're training during the day. You can see the dog coming, and it's an unnerving feeling. But when you're hiding in the dark and the dog is supposed to use their scent to find you,
Oh, God.
not eyesight. So you're hiding in a corner, and you just hear that chain,
Oh,
and you can hear the dog panting,
He's coming.
and then he's sniffing,
and you're freaking
and
out.
you're like, "Oh, where is he?" And then the next thing you know, you're like,
Next thing you know, you wake up in the hospital.
"No, man."
Next thing you know, you're shitting
Next
your
thing you
pants
know, you are apprehended.
with,
Those are those dogs from the Wick movie.
yeah, I love that
Yep,
part.
those are Mal's,
Cool.
or that one is for sure.
He's trying to.
He just
poor guy.
keeps on yanking on the guy's leg.
Well, the guy's moving still.
That's right.
Right. Oh, I love the John Wick movies.
I love all of them. I've got all of them.
Is that Holly
Over
Berry?
and, yeah,
Man, she
Yeah.
still looks good.
she does.
Man.
I saw her in a commercial.
What it
the
would
other
be
day.
like
She
to
looks
get
great.
Halle Berry, a 50-year-old Halle Berry, in bed with you, huh?
How do we go from
Telling
talking
you,
about
bing,
dogs?
bing,
I
bing,
mean,
bing, bing, bing. He's popping all over the place the whole time.
Halle Berry. Oof.
that's not Halle Berry, so I don't know what you're looking at.
No, that's not.
That's Christopher Walken.
What's your
dog.
most memorable day on the job with the dog? Is there one that, if you could have a picture, it'd be on your wall?
I think.
I guess it could be a
Probably-
bad thing too.
I mean, they're all good, especially to watch them work. But I think the one that stands out the most is my first search, my first track, if you will, where a couple of guys had bailed out of a stolen vehicle. They had ammunition in the car, so we don't know if they were armed. They went into a residential neighborhood. So now we have, the possibility of, residents in danger. So we're looking around and nervous because I don't know how my dog's going to work. I don't know if he is going to work. I mean, we did training. Does it work differently in training than it does while we're here? And sure enough, man, just starting the search, and my dog goes underneath the shed, and there's a bad guy underneath the shed. So,
yeah, but you got to be emotionally attached at that point, right?
yeah, I mean, I don't want to do anything to hurt my dog.
Right.
But at the same time, too, if it makes it safer for the other policemen, then that's what the dog's there for. Because I like my dog, I love my dog, but I also understand my dog's a tool. It is a tool, just like anything else on the gun belt. It's a tool.
Yeah.
So we're not going to send them in for failure on anything, unless the situation dictates it. That's it.
That's
Man,
cool.
I'd love to
though.
have one of those dogs.
No. Get it out of your head right now.
They're so expensive,
Chelsea?
though.
That dog is
No.
not going to get you Halle Berry.
No.
Yeah, no, she's long gone. Man, I'd love to have one though. I'd love it. There's a guy that
Well, look, you're worried about this little bitty dog you got biting your baby.
Well, I know, I
You're
could
going to
squish
have a
that
dog
thing.
that could crush her like a
No,
watermelon.
but those dogs wouldn't do that. You think? Well, no, maybe, maybe.
I'm
Never
gonna put
mind.
it
That was a
this way.
dumb question.
Get on
Yeah.
YouTube, or just
I'd have to have my second
Research
first
it.
child.
and you'll see that there have been some tragic accidents.
Yeah. Ah.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, they get in the zone and they get it. What do you think that's from though? The accidents? You think they're just in the zone, ready to do work, in the wrong place, wrong time.
There's so much
Yeah.
that, I mean, it could have been a noise, it could have been a movement, it could have been anything.
Would you rather have a dog that can apprehend, or a dog that's just trained to sense drugs and stuff like that? Because it seems like that would be safer for the dog.
Well, that's like the bomb dog, right?
Yeah. It's
Well, I mean, a
like-
bomb can explode, though. Drugs, you know.
So you
The
have
dog might get a high heart rate for 4 or 5 hours if he sticks his nose in a...
Yeah, well, with the fentanyl coming in,
Oh yeah, that's scary,
that
huh?
will.
Yeah.
He's listening for the ticking clock.
That's a
of
new
the bomb.
thing, huh? Fentanyl?
I was like, what is that? I gotta
It's
go.
like what the shit?
Why'd y'all put me back here?
That fentanyl, what's up with that? That's unrelated to what we're talking about, but that's a new thing, huh?
Why is it unrelated?
We're talking
Well, I
about
mean,
drugs.
well, I guess we are. The fentanyl is like a new thing that's coming into the country, killing everybody.
It's not
huh?
new.
Oh,
It's,
no?
no.
That's what killed Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but nah. I mean, I didn't hear of anybody in
It's-
high
it's-
school wanting fentanyl. Or
No,
anything
it's
like
making
that.
it more now on the street. That they were mixing it
What's
with.
that, like cocaine?
No, it's totally different. It's totally
Hmm.
different. So, but the problem is if we had a dog that may have gotten into, let's say, some cocaine or some crack or something like that, there are some things that we can, like if the dog had passed out, we can give the dogs Narcan,
Mm-hmm.
and we could take them to the vet. Unfortunately, with fentanyl, even the smallest amount, and like if you look it up, it's I'm talking grains, like salt grains, that will kill the dog.
Really?
Yeah.
I was taking care of someone who was dying of cancer, and I had the patches, and I had to go through a class
Yep.
on what to do with them when I changed
A
his
patch of
patches.
what?
The patch of
Fentanyl.
fentanyl.
There's patches. It was
I
Tofio's
thought,
brother.
what is fentanyl?
I think it comes in different forms, right?
Mhm.
Well, this was in patches because the reason is they said people, if they find out he's on patches at home, they'll dig through the trash and they'll put them in their mouth and chew them.
It will.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So
But
it works like a morphine, if you
Oh,
will.
it's an opiate.
And it'll take the
It's
pain away.
severe.
Yeah, so it's very, very severe. Like the smallest amount that, whether it's raw or what have you, you can overdose. And that's the problem that we're seeing nowadays is that they're mixing it with, with whether it be the crack or whether it be just, cocaine that they're sniffing or heroin or whatever that they're
scary.
shooting. And we're getting overdoses on the stuff just because there's too much of a mixture in there. And
Now, how do you feel? And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. How do you feel as a police officer, where you have someone that is addicted to or is strung out on drugs, and you find them overdosed, syringe sitting in the vein that they just pumped themselves up with, and you know that by saving that person, they're just going to be right back out there doing it again the next day?
unfortunately, that's just something that does happen. It happens a lot. We're here to do a job, and if it involves trying to save somebody, then that's what it involves.
No matter how many times it takes to save them.
Unfortunately,
That's the answer. I mean, that's a good answer.
You think drugs should be legal?
What kind of
what
drugs?
kind of drugs are we talking about, Devin?
Well, I mean, that's like a big debate right
marijuana?
now. Most drugs.
Listen,
Because it would seem like we've tried almost everything at this point in history to negate the drug
sure,
Yeah, but-
influx. in
But
the
with how
US.
much we are stopping, be it still only a fraction.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, imagine if it was okay. Anybody can do it whenever.
but I mean, if it
the
was,
job market would be great because it would kill a lot of people. But
Well, would it though? Because I mean, it would be, you'd have. I mean, I'm just guessing, but I would guess you would have centers where people would go to get drugs. They'd be under a doctor's at least supervision.
But the
but there's
doctors
no
are the
there's no
problem
need
right
for
now.
cocaine as a
Well, I mean, that's why I'm
prescription cocaine.
and not to take or not to.
I mean, I
Like-
don't think people should be doing all that stuff, but I think people are going to continue to do it, and I don't know of a solution to it.
I don't think there is.
I don't know if there
one.
is a solution to it. I can tell you the truth.
I know
mean,
that the drug cartels are making a lot of money, man. I think they
Maybe
own
that's
Mexico
what we
right
should
now.
go do.
Well, they're making money on a lot of stuff, but not just drugs.
Right.
Trafficking,
People,
and
yeah.
bringing people in, across the border.
So you think this is pretty much as good as it gets legally, drug related? I mean, there's no solution.
Even if we take something
and I know
as
you
simple-
don't have a solution, but
Even if we take something as simple as the marijuana topic that's been up, for debate for a long time, there are those cities that do have that. Colorado, they've legalized it. They have centers that you can go to, or stores that you can go to. People are going to do drugs no matter what.
well, it was my point, kind of.
And I can honestly tell you this, I would probably, at least as a law enforcement officer, I think I would probably rather deal with somebody who has smoked marijuana and is probably high than somebody who is drunk.
Right.
But again,
I mean, I think that's a pretty common.
Have y'all noticed any
Thought.
difference in the activity from? I know we're a big port city, so activity from people coming in from other countries now that we've pretty much let people just come on in.
Come on in, right?
Yeah.
no, I mean it's still been the same.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen much of a big influx.
No uptick.
Most of the uptick was pretty much after all the storms when you have the workers coming in, the
Right,
migrant
right, right.
workers. That's where you see most of it. But as of right now, I mean, it's still kind of just still the same. It's just a flow.
Gotcha.
When we wrap up, we've been doing this thing for the last day, which I enjoy.
Right?
We got a couple questions, and I want quick answers.
Here we go.
What's the most? What's the one thing that you could, if you could go back in time and redo in your life as a canine officer, what would it be?
Get in sooner.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's a good answer. What's the last book you read?
I don't know.
Or listened to?
No, it's been a while since I've actually read a book. That's
How to Train a Dog.
I mean, we have those manuals that I read like that.
What's the biggest question you don't know the answer to?
Life?
Anything.
Oh,
That was his answer.
Oh, life was the answer.
Were you expecting something else?
Anything big that your mind wanders to before you go to bed every night? Anything you wish you would know before your time on the earth ends that you don't know now? Who built the pyramids?
That would be
How to
interesting.
train the dog the best?
Why does my dog eat grass?
I worry
you know
that
what?
about mine.
I think I know.
They're out
'cause
there just
the
chewing
vet,
it up.
my dog would eat grass and throw it up, and we'd have to take him to the goddamn vet. And they say they eat grass because something in the grass itself soothes their stomach. That's what they tell me.
And that's, I've heard that before. I heard that they like it. I heard that they get hydration out of it.
But then they
It could
throw
be
it up.
a lot of things.
Yeah, and then they throw up.
Well, why does my dog eat shit?
Okay, that's a problem.
better
That's
question.
between
Only
you and
the
your dog.
old one. He'll go through and check all the other ones, make sure it's okay. And then
Yeah. Those
All right,
those dogs
I
are
have a
special.
question too when you're
yes.
done.
Go ahead.
All right, so I want to know. It's gonna come in. Do you think your dogs see ghosts?
dogs see ghosts.
Do you think?
I
Do you
can
think-
I can ask it in my soothing.
I don't
voice.
know.
Do
I've
you
never
think
asked
your
my
dog
dog,
sees
hey buddy,
ghosts?"
did you see a ghost?
But do you think they? Do
You
they
guys-
start looking at shit sometimes, and you're
You
like,
guys see that?
"Shut up!" I just want to know.
Have there been times that my dog looks up into the woods and is like just sitting there looking, or into a big open field, and I'm like, what?
There's nothing there?
And I'm looking.
Let's get in the car.
Quickly. We're like, come on, buddy, you're done.
There's something out there. I don't want to know what it is.
When's the last time you changed your mind about something major?
Man, I should have changed my mind about doing this.
That's a good one.
Anything big that comes to mind? Big
No, I
topic.
mean-
You seem like a pretty well-rounded, mellow dude. Maybe not. No.
I just kind of take everything as it comes and just try to make the best of it. I mean,
Do you
for the
believe,
most part,
believe in aliens?
Depends on what kind of aliens you're talking about.
Well, I want to say this. So I think you are such a great person, and
I
especially
love Abe. I've known
I do
Abe for a
too.
long
Abe
time.
was so supportive after our 220, and I just want to thank you
Yeah,
for that.
that
You
is-
really were, and you checked on all of us individually, and I thought that was really great. We appreciate
It was
that.
important. I mean, like I've said, I've known most of y'all for a long time. Even from shooters on David Drive and so on like that. So, and I've spent a lot of time here, doing business checks while I was working. So I always wanted to make sure, because that's something that not everybody goes through. And, to have friends and people that I know go through it, if I can be of any kind of help, hey, listen, it's hard, when I went through it. It's little things like that.
Well, that's
Yeah.
one reason we've been trying to pull a lot of y'all in here relentlessly, is because I think that the misconception in the United States right now is going the wrong way, And I know y'all are good dudes, and
Oh,
I've
yeah.
known y'all for a long time, and I think that the more people know that, the better.
Exactly.
The majority, absolutely, everybody just wants to get in, get out, go do some work, help somebody if they can, or stop
Right.
something.
I mean, everybody
bad from
that I know,
happening.
especially that works with our local sheriff's
Right.
department, you and everybody else, is I think we would be in a world of trouble if y'all weren't around.
I agree.
Well, we appreciate
So
that.
I appreciate
One of the things
you
in our
coming.
concealed carry class lately that we've been teaching is these guns that people paint to look like Nerf guns or
Bad
That's really
idea.
that's
It's-
really
oh, I
scary,
know, I know.
man.
Bad idea.
and the way we put it out to the class is, if you're out and about and you're concealed carrying and somebody pulls out this Nintendo blaster and points it at you, or it looks like one, now that we've shown you these pictures, are you going to shoot that person? Are you going to draw down on a person or threaten to do
Right.
something? And can you make that split second decision when you see that gun, if it's a toy or not? And most of them will say, no, I don't think I could. And we say, well, how do you expect cops to do it?
Right. It's yeah, and you're right. It's just a
'Cause-
lot of the stuff that we have to deal with is quick. It's on the run kind of thing.
Man, it's all the backlash after, like, oh, it was a toy. He fucking shot him. What the fuck? How are you supposed to know?
And the one thing that I have learned throughout this whole ordeal and just watching, the way things are going and so on, and I try not to read comments on
Yep,
social
don't.
media.
Never
because-
read that
Of course, you
shit.
can't read the comments, bro.
But I can
Never
tell
do.
you, I just never knew how many experts we actually have.
Oh,
Oh, that was one of the
Oh,
things after the
yes.
20th.
Yeah.
We saw like these reviews and stuff, and we're like, you know what? It really made us think that all these people who do this shit online
Don't
have
have
never
a
been
clue
involved in a fucking
anything,
gunfight
in
ever.
anything.
And it's also like dog training. There's always that person that can do dog training better. Man, it's simple things. If you keep it simple, it's gonna work. Just like being a law enforcement officer. If you try to keep it simple and not to get too ahead of yourself or think that you are, more than what you are, then hey, just keep it simple, man. Just relax.
Abe, you're a good dude, man.
Yeah,
I
you are.
appreciate you
Yeah, I try.
coming in.
Hey, look, I'm sorry it took me 8 months to get
It's
here.
all right. Hey, we got it done, brother. We got it
COVID.
done.
Well, I appreciate the
If
time.
you see a law enforcement officer, guys, tell them you appreciate them. Be nice to one another.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I think the pendulum, was one way, and I think it's gonna swing back the other way.
Ah, man, history repeats itself, dude. So we'll go through bad cycles, good
Mhm.
cycles, bad cycles, and good cycles.
I
It's a
appreciate
good way to
you
look at
coming
it.
in, man.
Yeah,
Keep
right?
doing what you're doing.
That's
We
right.
try.
I sleep easier at night knowing you. And what's the dog's the one
That apprehends.
that apprehend
My
the
patrol
live,
dog?
the live wire
His name is Nitro.
Nitro.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna sleep easy knowing that I'm in the field playing with
That's
Nitro,
right.
right? Throwing the ball.
That's right. I get extra.
I'm
few
gonna go.
minutes of sleep
I'm gonna go park by
knowing
Devin's house when he's outside. I'm gonna throw a tennis ball in his backyard.
He's gonna be like, what?
Just so it lands next to him, he's gonna go, Jesus Christ, where's the fucking
Nitro?
dog?
I'm gonna go by and put my dog toy out there.
that.
Nitro was here. Damn it. Just give him a big pile of dog shit. He'll do.
Roby's
So-
a little dog.
Have
He
him-
makes a lot of shit though.
Have him sit by the back glass door. Just look in the fucking house.
Look at
Hey,
inside.
if Nitro comes from me, I know it's my time to go. I'm gonna just let it happen.
So literally, man, I really hope your subscribers actually maybe start putting some comments down there and just, yes, Stefan needs to get in the suit.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yes, Stefan needs to get in the suit.
if
you
I
know.
get a few, maybe I'll get in that goddamn paper bag that you.
Oh, we're gonna have to fucking film that shit.
Look, somebody check the account. I think we got one that's good enough, right?
He was all
If
calm
y'all
for
wanna-
that explosion over there, you
I
know.
wanna
But a
see me
dog,
attacked from
fuck
multiple
no.
angles in high definition. You let me know. Maybe we'll do it. Abe again, brother. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate the
Hey.
time.
Thanks,
y'all.
man.
Thank you for the invite.
Guys, subscribe, like. We're still giving away a gun. There's open spots.
That's
Subscribe
right.
for your chance to win at Two Shots In Podcast. Bye-bye.
Later. That was good.
Awesome job, Abe.
So you
Very
people
good.
were so worried about.
Dude, it's very.
I know. No,
it-
I
it's-
got it.
No,
You know,
we get it.
They don't
I'm
want you to get
surprised they even let
political
you.
and everything
Well,
else.
you know, 2 days ago we had I
Joe.
just want to say Chris Basil. Joe Marcel.
Did you get his number off my phone?
Joe
yet?
Marcel was in
You wanted?
for a minute. Yeah, we've been trying to get a bunch of people in. I think.
I know I kept it boring, man, but
No, no.
still
You
recording.
didn't keep it boring at all.
I love.
Believe it or not, you kept it on track.
Right.
Because otherwise, we'd have been all over
over
the
the
This
place.
place.
time and for the next half hour, we'd be talking about interdimensional child molesters.
Oh, we were telling him let Chelsea get the boob job.
oh my goodness.
Oh, I want
How-
Chelsea to get the
How
boob
Blair
job.
took a shit in a tub. I mean,
you seen that
Jesus
video?
Christ.
The podcast, they get kind of.
Yeah, they start going. I was like, and that's why I was like, man, I need to get permission to do this.
No, I knew after you said that, I wasn't gonna lead you astray, man.
And I knew if I didn't get permission, I was gonna say, look, I look for one of the local offices.
Please.
We'll leave it at that. But yeah, my chief knew and the sheriff signed off on it. So
Cool, man. Well, I hope that we kept it on track for you. Don't like
No,
it. We didn't,
absolutely.
we didn't get nothing wild.
no,